All right, all right. Hey guys, happy Thursday. This is Dr. Greg McLeod from the Elite Traders University here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I want to welcome you to our live AI Forex and crypto no coding workshop. Okay, basically how we're going to print profits today using the power of AI. And so I'm so glad that you are here and that you have chosen to spend some time with me. So I'm going to do a quick sound check and video check, make sure that you can hear my voice and see my screen, and we're going to get started underway. Again, this is you're one step away from building your own winning indicator. Okay, and so this is a powerful. I've been a trader for many, many years, for 30 years, worked for one of the world's largest forex broker dealers in the world. And so what and so we've been for so I've been involved with markets for over 30 years. And there's always been the quest to have computers, the power of technology and computers. Um, People wanted to have a better way of trading, and it's always ended up the same, where these computers were not never really smart enough and to do the job. And why do we want them to do the job? Well, we're going to talk about some of the big issues that facing traders, and a lot of those things deal around with confidence, not being able to be very confident about what they are doing. And the market's so volatile, and the hour, especially with forex trading, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, or missing a big move, right? Or just lacking the consistency uh, that's very elusive. Sometimes you're winning, and sometimes you're not. And so what you want to do with what we're seeing AI replace people. But one of the biggest music talents out now uh, is selling records. AI. It's an AI group. It's not even a real group. It, and they basically have created an AI group that has derived all these other all the sounds, all the popular sounds, and all the popular guitar riffs, and basically made a bot. Okay, the group's called Velvet Sundown, and they got a song called Cardboard Sky that's like on the top of the download or top of the charts here on Spotify, and it's completely AI. So we're seeing AI movies, AI music, and the most logical place where AI would be applied to is to trading, right? To help traders be more consistent. And I have been if you follow me anytime, I've always been against technology because, in the 1990s, we had neural nets, and then we had other things. But with the advent of large language models, that big models that can take all this information and compile it into into new products, and basically expand our abilities as human beings. So instead of being beaten by the bots, I mean, we're all thinking about Terminator. We're always thinking about, the end of the world, right? So what we want to do is be able to um, look at how we can use this new technology to make money, because the large language model is like that. It takes everything known about a certain subject and able to use that information to create new information. So I took it upon myself, and I went with I had my one of my top students. One of my top students is named Jamie. He averages, I mean, just incredible amounts of money in the market. And I wanted to take some of my best traders, my best ideas, be able to put them into a large language model and have it replicate what we do with Pip and Run. If you're familiar with Pip and Run is a very powerful trading strategy, which I developed with the help of Mark Douglas some 20 years ago, right? And then I wound up working at the brokerage at one of the largest forex broker dealers in the world. I was able to use that system to make millions of dollars. And so now, um, the you know being able to automate that the technology is finally caught up with a high performing system to make my life a lot easier. Okay. In fact, we did some trades yesterday with it, and I didn't have any of my indicators on, didn't have any, I wasn't doing any wave counting, I wasn't doing to any of that. I really want to boil it down to a simple, you guys know me, I like colors and I like shapes, right? I like colors and shapes. I think we got someone has entered the room here. Corey, nice to see you in the room. And I see some other people in the room too. And I don't know if you guys remember, if you're not as old as I am, there was something back in the day called Forex Made Easy. Forex Made Easy it was crazy. It was just green arrows and red arrows. And in fact, I was able to go online and I got actually a copy of Forex Made Easy, right? And then in fact, yeah, I go, you know what? This is pretty cool. Green arrows, red arrows. And look at the kind of computer this is. This is like early 2000s, right? It's a 6 DVD set. It's completely corny and bogus. It really didn't work that well. But I like the idea that having a computer be able to figure out and analyze tons and tons of chart data on multiple time frames and be able to come up with, I just need an arrow at this particular area, right? That way I'm confident about the trade and I can just rely on pulling the trigger. And so we've been beta testing that, but before that, I actually have one of my students is programming Pip and Run. He's been doing it. It took him 5 years to get to where it took me a weekend with my students in our first class. We were able to take the system and take the entry rules of my student and of Pip and Run, and we dropped it into a chat GPT version, the 4.0 or 4.0. Yeah. And then so what that did was it came up with this really, really simple solution, right? And it just took a lot of load off because when we're on the floor in the brokerage, you have an analyst team and you have a trading team, right? The trading team just pulls the trigger. The analyst team kind of like analyzes all the different things you could trade, right? You have a risk management team that makes sure that the trader doesn't blow up everything, right? So you have like a holy trinity, right? You have the research department, you have the trader, and then you have your risk management, and they all work together. And the reason why a trader can do so well is because, well, they don't have to go researching the ideas. Now, the average guy, the average Joe that's trading, he's the analyst, he's the risk manager, he's a janitor, he's a coffee maker, he's everything, right? And so when you get into a funk, and if you're in a brokerage, what happens is the risk manager will pull the money from you. Say, look, stop trading. It will pull your capital and then set you on the bench and you go get coffee for everybody else, right? But when you are the risk manager and the trader and you're trying to come back from a loss, you're going to have revenge trading, right? You're trying to get back what you lost, and there's no one to tell you stop other than you, and you're not going to tell yourself to stop, so you end up blowing up your account, right? And so this kind of like eliminates that, right? It's not completely automatic. Part one is semi-automatic. You've got semi-automatic and you have automatic, right? In part two of our course that we're going to have on this Saturday, we built and we're going to go through that process again. The one that we're going to be giving you is the one we built last week, right? But we're going to go through the process. So if you have other ideas for your own system, you can follow this process, this template, this procedure on how to talk to Chat GPT to get the best, or Grok or whatever large language model. You could ask it certain things and start interfacing with it, but you got to start small. You can't just say, oh, I want the RSI over here and this crossing over there. You'll overload it. It'll start hallucinating. It'll start making stuff up and you'll get a really bad product. But just starting with How do you buy? How do you sell? How do you place a stop loss? I want my stop loss this way. I want to filter out noise. Starting with those just basic commands and producing and going back and forth. It doesn't take that long. In fact, you're going to get a bunch of errors. There's a bunch of things that happen. But a lot of people will try it once and it won't work. But there is a process and a procedure, and it didn't take that long. In fact, I did a Julia Child where I just we started from scratch. I did it ahead of time and I had it on the side, but I said, I'm gonna build it from scratch with everybody so they can walk through the steps. And they saw me, we got an error, give it back. Hey, ChatGPT, we got an error. Oh, let me fix it. Oh, we got another error. Hey, ChatGPT says I'm gonna fix it, right? But then it didn't take that long. 15 minutes later, we had a working product that worked exactly like the one that I did. So it was a replicatable process. It wasn't like, oh, I lucked up on something with no one looking. No, I was able to do the same process in front of the group. I'm going to do that again this Saturday as well. And once you know the keys of doing that, you can build anything you want to build, or just use what we give you, right? Which is the our auto pipper, right? So let me show you some examples. I know I did a lot of talking, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this I've been trading for 30 years. I was a Wall Street currency analyst and strategist for one of the world's largest Forex broker dealers in the world. If you type my name, Greg McLeod, Daily FX or FXEM, you'll see my stuff is like still being used by the firm to educate and instruct people. I was a trader coach, so I trained new traders as well. And I also appeared on NBC, ABC, CBS. I had the longest winning trading record at our firm. I had 408 trades without a loss. I think Jamie's topped out, almost topped. He's like 386 trades in a row without a loss. So we have a high percentage. My forte is short-term day trading and scalping. So if you're not a short-term trader, if you think short-term trading is risky and you listen to all the blah, blah, blah from Wall Street, then this is probably not going to be for you. But I'm going to show you some things here that we do. Okay. So enough of that. Let me go ahead and share my screen, share what we got going. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat box if you're on here as well. And I know YouTube people, you're out there too. And I'll check to make sure we got some, see if there's any questions out there too. And then let me go ahead. I'm going to go back to the Facebook group and pop that link in there too in just a minute. But first of all, let me go ahead and show you. I'm going to share screen number 2. Come on. Okay. Let's get it going. All right. And I got the idea because I trade with Jamie. Jamie does our New York session. And when I'm not, I'm a great trader, but I tell you what, when I'm the trader and not the analyst, I'm a beast. I'm a beast. In fact, I passed one challenge with him in like 20 minutes. 20 minutes of following just some, because I'm in the driver's seat, so I'm usually analyzing, and I'm also okay. So this okay. Yeah, we basically built this. This is Bitcoin last night, right? All right. So this is we write this in Pine script, right? We we write it like I don't write it. I don't know Pine script. I don't script. I don't code. Maybe I programmed in BASIC and Pascal probably about 40 years ago, but I don't program. All I did, I said I don't care what the code says. All I do is just drag it in and make it work, right? And the output was this. Okay, this is Bitcoin last night, right? And so it'll put a green arrow at a reversal point. There's a little bit of repainting where as it's forming the candle, you might see it appear or disappear. But the point where it appears is exactly where you want to get in anyway. Anyway, right? So once I see these candles, I was on the euro, And then the shorts came in on Bitcoin last night, and I took it back down to here, right? So I mean, those were like, it was like perfect, right? So I go here, right? Now, so this is dollar CAD. Dollar CAD was like, it rallied. I got a hammer. I got at 9 o'clock a.m. I got a buy arrow. I went from 37.25 or so and got up to like 37.51, right? So I got a good 30 pips there. And then right after that, I got one sell arrow. This is a 30-minute chart. Sell arrow. I mean, it's very clear. No, it's not putting a stop. It's not auto trading yet. Okay. The first part is we got the indicator programmed. Once we get that, now we can say, hey, ChatGPT, can you convert this indicator into a strategy, an auto trading strategy? Can you make it for MT4? Can you make it for MT5? Right. But this is a pretty beautiful drop. Came down, didn't give me a reversal, gave some back, but hey, 200 simple moving average would have been my target, and I would have got out manually, right? I don't need, you got to know how to trade a little bit, right? And we got a nice rally back up, right, in the direction of the trend. Got a little red arrow. We got in there somewhere around the 37.10 area, or maybe 05. Took it down. Didn't go down that far, but I got small body dojis. I use Heikkanashi candles. Yeah, people say they lag a little bit, but I really don't want to be whipsawed by regular candles. So I've eliminated the regular candle stuff. I kind of, here at Elite Traders University and Pip and Run, we use Heikkanashi. We just checked out of all the other types of candles. We see dojis, there's a clear showing of slowing of momentum, right? And I think the AI likes it too, right? Now, it didn't catch the bottom here, which, we're going to have 12 months of updates. So we are updating this. We are refining this. So, hopefully I know that, just a couple of tweaks, we'll be able to catch this. But it did catch this. Let's pull back to 37.12, right? And was able to get long with a stop, and it traveled right back to up to 37.41, right? I mean, that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need. Give me a good arrow and let me pull the trigger on it, right? And and have some confidence behind that. So again, there's no data before last week because basically our first class, we built it on the 12th of July. And I've just been, there was a Bitcoin trade. Oh, yeah, this one here. Oh, this is US dollar index, Aussie dollar short. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right. And let me go ahead and yeah. Yeah. So what we do is multiple time frame analysis, but what we do is we put the higher time frame chart, we have the US dollar index. And since 85% of all Forex transactions happen on the US dollar, what happens is that the Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, pound dollar, euro dollar go in the opposite direction of the dollar index. So why not put the dollar index and put signals on the dollar index, right? So we got a buy arrow on the dollar index, which corresponded to a sell arrow on our 30-minute, right? In fact, we had a 30-minute and we just wrote it down, right? And then we went down to a 1 minute to get some scalping entries where we can 64.74, got down to 68. So, that's 6 pips, right? Rallied again, short at 72, get out at 68, another, 4 or 5 pips there, right? So we can do that. I've gone down to the 15-second chart with the arrows as well. And again, it's not completely perfect because, like I said, it was done July 12th, right? So, but however, it's extremely promising when we are able to the other trade. Okay, let me show you the block of trades we did was like phenomenal. We did I do a Asia session, scalping session, which if you guys stick around, I'll give you the link to that. Our VIP is like $97 a month. And then you can join our school group, our school community. We give you a week of our live trading for $19 a month, right? Plus, you get access to a whole bunch of videos and education material and a really powerful community. And you get that for I think they're up to, I'm sorry, $97 a month. I'm sorry. So these are trades I took yesterday, and I didn't go into my analysis and Fibonacci and all that. I just looked at arrows, bro. I just really seriously. I mean, this is circa 2005. I brought 2005 back, right? I know it doesn't sound right. You listen to all the talking heads. Oh no, you have to look at structure and supply and demand support zones. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been teaching it for no, a good 20 years. And I boil it down to I want to see a green arrow so I can buy. And I want to see a red arrow so I can sell. Well, that doesn't sound scientific. Well, if I make $5,000 in 58 minutes, who cares, right? Bite me, right? I tell people, I get these people, right? So I mean, that's just that's just what it is, you know. So that was I mean, that was we start Tuesday. We trade Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and that was today is Thursday, so it was Tuesday. So we actually did another session. Yeah, so I did Tuesday session. Oh, the Tuesday session was insane. I didn't know. I just didn't know when to stop. I mean, I had one loss, but I was just stacked. I was just going long. I was just stacking. I was just stacking. Because I thought if this is giving me a green arrow, and the green arrow hasn't, on the higher time frame, he's confirming, and then I look down the lower time. I still use both time frame analysis, but instead of looking at a bunch of different stuff, I'm just looking at, do I have a good green arrow on my 30-minute? Then I'm going to look at my 5 and my 1 minute, and when they line up, I got harmonic convergence. I'm going to back up the truck, right? I think it flashed me out for a 2-cent loss gain. It was just pretty wild, right? Anyway, like I said, this is our new logo. The old Pip and Run logo was kind of cute, right? So I made it like bionic. Where we go? What? That's when we had Fido, which was our first automated system. It was our dog, right? And this is our old 2006 logo, right? He doesn't have the bionic stuff. It's a black guy with a bag of money running. That was me, right? I know. I'm a mess. Pray for me. Oh yeah, this Aussie dollar. Oh yeah, this. Yeah, US dollar. US dollar starts stacking. On the 1 minute, I got one red arrow short trend line break. And you see how you get one arrow? See, that's a red arrow. I got short and then I got out really fast. And see that crust of arrows, that's more than one arrow. That's like I put like 4, 5, 6 standard lots because this thing is going here. And I got that red arrow and I got stacking green candles on the US dollar index going up. Oh my, I just hit it, right? It was really, it made me, I've been doing this for 30 years. And see, I was back in my old space where I was the analyst. I was the analyst before and then be the trader. But now I'm just like, I'm just the trader. I'm just looking at what I see and what I analyze and just went for it. Now I asked it to get in here and do the strategy tester, but look, it makes the arrows for MT4, right? So we can convert to NT4 very easily. You have to use a higher if you use this that the average or the free version of the ChatGPT, you might not get the same results. You'll get the same errors and won't solve the errors. But I up to I have a special plan. I wish you guys could have got that. If you check AppSumo, I've got like 12,000 credits per month, unlimited for, but if I switch to the higher tiered language model, it takes up 15 of those credits, which is fine because, I'm not going to do 1,000. I'm not going to exhaust, 1,000 or 900 something searches, right? In fact, I probably have I think I have like 11,000 left. And then at the end of the month, it resets back to 15,000 again. Okay, so this was good too. We had an arrow. We had red arrow short, and then the green buy. And I had some Fibonacci in there, and I had some supply and demand zone in there. And it just put that green arrow there. I'm like going, no, you're not. On a 15-minute chart, you give me a green arrow? I mean, what are you going to do? Oh, I don't know, right? It's like I put a trend line break on that, put a little trend line, got a green arrow, a green candle and a green arrow in it to win it. Took it to zero. This was yesterday. Yeah, 66. I probably got at the 23% retracement because you just don't believe you don't, like I said, we've been using this since what, the 12th? Or we made it on the 12th. We used it on Sunday. I mean, we're crushing Bitcoin on a Sunday, and I'm not really much of a Sunday trader, but not that I think that gals gonna be mad at me for trading on a Sunday, but yeah. And then I gave it to Jamie, who gave us an entry strategy, and he was flabbergasted. He was like going, "Oh my goodness!" I was like, I said, "What do you think?" What do you think? Yeah, he called me up, and he's the only other person other than the people in our class. Those are the people who are able to see that, right? Like I said, I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been getting tons of training. I mean, this is 2012, right? 2012. I was doing this stuff, right? And in fact, I was showing where we did 1.6 million by hand. And then my boss asked me, "Did you use a computer?" And this was my biggest trade. I made over 1,000 pips in an hour and 30 minutes on the peso. Now peso pips are small, so peso pip, they're small, but still 1,000 pips. It was the largest trade, 402,629, and so a total of 1.6 mil that I did by hand. And I was a young man then. But now, it's after 30 years and helping people from around the world become professional traders. It's and passing certificate. Come on, really? Spell it. You English major, right? I mean, thousands of people around the world that I've helped pass challenges, and they went through my program, right? And then they go ahead and they become Apex funded traders, right? They Rudy, $50,000 account, and then William, 50,000, James, Jermaine, all these guys, Kenneth Ragg, $75,000. They, and now what they're doing is they're connecting multiple Apex accounts together, right? And they're going to be using this AI to actually run these accounts, right? I mean, by hand, they're doing really. I mean, Jamie had multiple accounts tied to his multiple nine different Apex accounts, right? Every single one of them a winner, okay? And he did this last week, right? So when you're able to make, $5,000, $10,000 a week, that's a pretty good week, right? It's great. It's fun to, I I mean, I guess some people go top step. Some people, search. We had some search traders back in the day. Jacobus got the $200,000 certificate. So we have lots of winners. We got guys who pass the challenges like in minutes by hand, and without the help of AI. And now we just take what we've learned and gathered together. I mean, I've had Lake Trails University for 10 years, or this is our 10th year. But I mean, just because I have I started off as a middle school teacher, teaching people, teaching students, teaching English, teaching middle school, teaching gangbangers in the inner city how to trade, and so I'm just a really good teacher. My girls, they were scholarships, and they won presidential medal awards, top 7% automatic enrollment to UT Austin. So I'm I'm a gifted instructor. I come from 3 generations of teachers. My mom was a teacher. My great grandfather had a school for ex-slaves. Oh, when you were a slave, you don't learn anything. So he created a school to teach them. The first school was burned down by the KKK, but the second school, Talladega, Alabama, look it up, like a McLeod school, and I didn't even find that out till I was 50 years old. Realized, Dad, you just told me this, that our ancestors had a school for ex-slaves. Like, yeah, they burned down the first one, but we made a second one, and the state took it over, being part of the Talladega School District. Like going, oh, okay, that explains why I do a lot of teaching. And I taught middle school for 15, 16 years, and I know I teach adults. But there's some people that they either don't believe they can learn, and I can't help you learn if you don't believe you can learn. There's some people that's really busy. There's some people who actually have learning difficulties, that they weren't addressed when they were in school, and they just got worse. So it's hard for them to concentrate or do anything, right? But they really want to. They just can't stick with the material. They watch the video and they forget. It's not their fault. The school systems failed them. And they can become adults. They're 50, 60 years old, functioning, having learning disabilities. So having this system where, hey, green arrow, you don't need to you don't have to be very sharp to figure out that green is up, right? So it was really a way to help people who don't believe they can learn, or can't learn, or don't have the time to learn, or really don't have the money. Because it's an investment to join Elite Trailers University. Is not cheap, it's not free. So this is a way for people to be able to, like, hey, I can take part of the system. I can use it to help me trade better and with confidence. I'm not wandering around buying all this stuff from kids who really don't know much about trading, who've never worked for one of the largest Forex broker dealers in the world, have never been on a trading floor. I traded Japanese yen contracts on the Chicago Board of Trade in 1995. Okay. So I traded Forex before there was Forex. I traded currencies. Okay. I remember drawing bar charts, bars on graph paper, and waiting for the fax machine to give me the closing data. I had a Worden 2000 account. If you guys know Worden 2000, you got, you either use AOL and you downloaded your end of day price data, right? And then later they sent you a CD once a month to update everything, right? And so I go all the way back to those days, right? Working at Bank of America back in the late 80s, 86 as an intern, right? So I've seen the evolution of the markets. We kind of grew up with each other. And to be able to take people that can pass a challenge in 4 or 5 days, right? Then taking my information. So when I talk to AI, I'm making shortcuts. I'm looking at shortcuts to make things easy. Bill Gates said, if you want to find a good worker to solve a problem, find a lazy person. because a lazy person wants to get it done fast and easy. And so that's the whole goal of this project, right? So I'm done with candlesticks. I'm done with Fibonacci. I'm done with RSI. I'm done with supply and demand. I'm done with order blocks. I'm done with ICT, ABC, blah, 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 blah. Green arrow, red arrow. I know it sounds like fantasy world, but when you come from our world, and there's not really much fantasy left. When you've got guys who their best day is 41.2%, $1,241. The worst day is $412.96. His average winning day was $753.82. His average losing day was zero, right? Zero. When you have no drawdown or 96%. Now, if I can make a human being do that, what do you think I can do with AI? It's amazing, right? So let me show you what you will. Showing this is like very emotional for me. Okay, this is even our student. This is Jamie. Jamie heard from God, and he says, I need to get out of Saudi Arabia, and the only way to do it is to make as much more money that I make here to be able to move back to the U.S. So he taught him the pip and run system. He says he's going to do it on my birthday. He was so happy to be in my class that he did. My birthday is October 12th, and he made 422% in one day. Okay, pretty amazing stuff, right? So you took $10,000 and you turned it to $69,000, right? So I did this with a human being, right? So let me show you. Yeah, this is the culmination of 30 years of work, and I'm basically handing it to you on a silver platter. I really don't know. You've heard like the guy that like took water and ran a car off of water, or maybe he's and you hear about like weird things happen to people who really have things that are like really super special, right? And people really they don't believe them, and then they wind up like disappearing. But this is okay. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. And if you understand what I'm showing you, you will say, is that all you're charging me? What is this? What's going on here? So I took that indicator I just showed you, and I dropped it into ChatGPT, and I cranked up the highest 15 times credits to solve the issue of performance. And I put it, so what I did is I created a $10,000 account, put it in the TradingView has a back tester. This is the equity curve. We started with $10,000 on July 15th, 2024 in back testing. And then we took it to July 15th, 2025. It turned $10,000 to $71,120.16, a 711% return on investment. 711%. This doesn't even roll off your tongue right. It sounds like Bernie Madoff and that guy from the guy that blew up I forgot, Bankstein or whatever his name, whatever. Anyway, it just reeks of corruption when you see numbers like this, right? Max equity drawdown. Now, you're not going to pass a challenge with this because those challenges want you to don't have a drawdown below 6%, right? 5%, 6%. And that's what we teach in Pip and Run, not to have any drawdowns below 5, 6%. That's to go through our stage process. But it got away with 7.92% drawdown. Can you imagine only losing 8% on your account and you're risking 8 to make 711%? It's just unheard of. Now, total trades, it took a lot of trades. Remember, I'm a short-term day trader, scalper, and many people say, well, you're spending a lot of money on commissions. Where's commission money coming from? it's not coming from my pocket because it never reached my pocket in the first place, right? So I don't care about commissions or spreads. Not when I make 711%. You're tripping over pennies, missing out on dollars. Okay. Total trades, 12,697 trades. That's doable because I'll do 400 trades I'll do 400 trades in a month, right? In fact, our group we will do probably 144 billion notional of currency trades just in our group in Elite Traders University. And that's why brokers love us, because we move we move money. Well, yeah, you're churning, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah. If I'm making 10, 20, 30% per day, bite me, right? Profits for trades we're looking at now. This is what, I'm a big 90%, 100%. Let's do it, right? The profitable trades dropped to 40.93%, which I am like, I'm not too really happy about that, but really in the scheme of things, looking at this number and looking at this number and looking at the profit factor, I'm looking at, well, you know what? That's just going to have to do, right? Right. Now I optimized this for the dollar yen. And it was significantly less for some other currencies, maybe doing like 70, 80% per year, which is still not too bad. I mean, let me know in the chat box if you think that's bad, right? So this is the culmination that, and you think that if we go to our what we're offering today, and I know I got a little off I got way off the subject. Oh, I got off the where are we? Napkin. Right. Yeah. So we have a Saturday workshop coming up this Saturday. It's going to go from 5 p.m. Eastern time to about 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to have real examples of winning signals. We're going to create indicators and bots. And you're probably saying, Greg, all I want is that bot that you give me that, and you can take $2,000. Okay, that's fine. And it's $2,000 if you pay for a credit card, right? You can pay it over time, whatever or not. But if you got cash, then it's half price. It's $994. Okay, $994. You get the recordings, the notes, the 2 indicators, and you have a great life, right? This will never, ever be offered again. I don't even know why I'm even offering. I'm going through them like, why are you doing this, Greg? Because I have a mission, and the mission is to help men who struggled like me when I was like you on the other side of the screen, looking at Guru, looking like, man, maybe he can help me. And I took my last $7,000 back in 2000. I gave it to Mark Douglas. And, my wife said I was crazy, and, there was a grounds for a divorce. So you took our savings and gave it to this white guy. It's like, yeah, but he's a smart white guy. I was like, let's sit, be quiet, And now it's actually, we got, Range Rovers and big houses and house by the lake. And, we got the, BMW in the car. Like, I think that was a good idea. The kids, kids got graduated from college. Everything's nice, right? Because I took the risk. Now I'm making that risk a lot less for you and making it a lot easier and cheaper. Hey, I'm the king. I have a lot of money, but I don't like spending it, so I always find the way to do it on the low down, right? Like, why? It's a game. It's like, how low can you go? I mean, I go to the supermarket and like free stuff. Somebody gave me a big pile of free. You want some free samples? Would you like some Cheez-Its? The guy gave me a basket full of Cheez-Its for free as a sample. I'm going, I'm full of Cheez-Its. This is great. Anyway, I'm a simple guy. So why most traders struggle, remember, and how to create your own bots and that whole thing, right? You understand the market cycles. I know I kind of gave you all the goody stuff on the front end, right? But you probably, if you want to pay right now, if you want to join the group right now, I'm not going to hold you. I know you might have some place to go. I was like, okay, guy, I'm sold, Greg. Just shut up, give me the payment link, and let me go. You know, but I made these really cool slides. I want you to see them. But I didn't make it. AI made everything, right? I'm not even here right now. You're looking at an AI avatar. Isn't that great? AI don't crack, huh? Anyway, let me go and put this in there. Chat room, and then here we go. Here's that. Here's the link if you want to join. All right. Um, so I'll put that in there, and I'll continue going through the presentation. Cycle of trading, skill enhancement, understand the market dynamics, and you understand because it's kicking your butt. The market moves, and you lose, right? But so we want to develop an indicator, creating a tool that's tailored to a trading style. And my trading style is scalping, short-term day trading. It's probably why you're here. You don't want anyone who's going to buy and hold, buy and mold. We're investing, even though I am going to give you an investment strategy. One of the bonuses I'm going to give is the Bitcoin investment strategy. I created, of course, right? Because I bought a bunch of crap coins I was in crypto back in 2014, 12. I was Bitcoin has already moved up. The next cryptocurrency is Tron. The next cryptocurrency is Mana, and or Cipher or whatever, or Wang Chain, or so I buy all these coins and they go to zero or they go to under a penny, right? And so I probably put about $20,000-$30,000 in other currencies that are going to be the next Bitcoin, right? They always I got into ICOs, initial coin offerings, and they pump and they dump, right? And that's all they do was pump and dump. So what I should have did, and I got my cousin Patrice involved in Bitcoin. All I did was get herself a Coinbase, and she put $700 in there back in 2017. And I never heard from her again until like probably a month ago. And she called me up, and she called me. I go, who died? Did Auntie die? What happened? It's like, no, I wanted to thank you. I go, thank me for what? Oh, you set up that Coinbase account and you put $700 in there. Well, it got up to like $7,000. All right, going, you're kidding me. Oh yeah, and I needed to pay for something, so I was praying to God for some unexpected money, and I was looking through all these apps. I was going to delete this Coinbase app. I was going to delete the Coinbase app, right? And then she saw that she had a balance and she had $7,000 in there, right? So that kind of got me thinking. It's like, dang, if I took all that money that I spent, that I invested in all these bogus coins, and actually got a piece of Bitcoin. I mean, she didn't get enough money to buy a whole Bitcoin. So I create a a Bitcoin investment plan for my daughter or for my niece, and I'm going to include as a bonus in that in our AI training on Saturday, where we basically buy portions of Bitcoin. And if you look at the average yield on Bitcoin, it's like 44%. Nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, the S&P 500 is like 15% per year, but Bitcoin is like 44% per year. And they're not going to make any more Bitcoin. And I think there's like 2030, they're going to run out, or there's only like so many millions of Bitcoin left to mine. And now you have no supply and all this demand, and the price is going up. And I asked AI, hey, based on past performance of Bitcoin over time, where do you project the price of Bitcoin to be in 2030? And they go, oh, probably around $600,000 a coin. Okay, that's huge. So my niece got some Bitcoin had dropped to 109,000, right? And she texts me, you talk to kids and you don't think they're listening to you. It's like you give them advice, you should do this. And she goes, oh, uncle, I bought Bitcoin. Oh, you did? Great. Oh, well, she bought it 109 and it's like 122. And she goes, hey, I'm up like 17% already. on $200, right? So so we create a spreadsheet, a plan, and I've got I have a link in there where you get $75 in crypto if you use my link. Okay, so you get my link when you get that free $75. You add another $125, you got another 200, and then you can do that on a bi-weekly or weekly basis. In 5 years, you're going to have $75,000, $80,000, right? Which is a lot better than you putting in some bank who's going to charge you a fee for putting your money in the account and charge you a fee for talking to someone in the bank, right? Crypto. So anyway, the crypto blueprint is going to be included as part of that bonus. Okay. So anyway, if you got the link in the chat, go ahead and click it and you can go ahead and go. But so I developed this, because you should diversify strategies, not just have a long-term or just be either or. I just short-term trade. I never had a long-term strategy, but come to think that I bought and sold Bitcoin so many times in and out that I just, if I bought and held it, been doing a little bit better than I'm doing, which is still good, right? So we're going to develop this. We're going to form this cycle, develop custom indicators, analyze winning signals, right? Look at where the winners are, and then just duplicate it, right? You make a cookie and the cookie is good. Whatever recipe you made or what the amount of ingredients you put in there, replicate that, right? Now, humans, it's kind of hard because we kind of I have aunties that are really good cooks and nothing ever comes out the same. It's good, but I said, man, that pork chop you made last week was really good. Yeah, I would just pinch of this and a pinch of that, and you never get that back again. And sometimes our trading is like that. You have a winning trade, you don't know why it won. You just are lucky, I guess, right? Well, we want to get the luck out of it. We want to be able to create something that's wash, rinse, and repeat over and over again that we don't have to think about, right? Because guess what? That's what the banks do. And I work for a bank, and they have everything fixed anyway. They already know where everything's going to go anyway. But we don't have that. They don't call me anymore. I used to work for them, but I don't work for them anymore. So they don't call me anymore. But in this way, we're almost like tapped into, we're on their coattails. So we analyze the signal, we enhance the decision-making process, right? By asking, like, hey, could you make this better? Just simple questions to AI, like, I got in here and I missed this. Can you make it better? Like, we can go back and look at the areas. I can take a screenshot of the chart. I'm going to give you some of the tips that I'm going to be teaching you on Saturday. We take a screenshot of a winning trade and drop this winning trade into ChatGPT and allow it to tell us where the issue is or where we can improve. That's how powerful it is. So you're going to get in this workshop. You're going to meet other traders as well, and then we're going to be understand those market dynamics, and it's going to form this cycle, right? Now, I've been doing this for 30 years. Elite Traders University has been around for 10, and I've been in public education since 89. So it's been here for a long time, and I've helped traders make 5 and 7 figures on a regular basis because I have a system that hasn't changed in 20 years. The system, tip and run, has not changed, right? It really doesn't matter. Well, market volatility and different types of market dynamics, things that worked back then don't, because they were crap in the first place. But I got on my knees and I prayed to God, and he opened the Bible to Matthew 25, the parable of the talents, where one guy was given 2 and he made 2 more. That's 100%. One guy had 5, he made 5 more. And one guy, he buried it, and and the master told me you should have put it in the bank. So putting it in the bank was like the worst possible thing you could do. But then I was questioning, well, how can you get 100%? Well, it said that those guys, the word traded is in the Bible. It's in the King James Version. They traded. He traded his 2 and made 2 more. He traded his 5, made 5 more. This is 1993 when I was seeking the Lord. And guess what? There was, there wasn't all this information about trading and all these business channels. It was something at the end of Walter Cronkite. Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 15, or at 150, and the American Exchange is at 42. And there was no NASDAQ composite, right, back then, right? And that's the way it is. So, that was the stock market was 5 seconds before Walter Cronkite would say. Walter Cronkite was a news announcer back in the 70s, very famous, 60s and 70s. And he was like the face of trustworthy news information back in the day, unbiased, very neutral, and you trusted it, right? But then the stock market stuff, you only got a little piece. They just said, well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 542, down 0.0%. IBM and the big blue and the blue chip stocks. So that's all you heard about. So I had to research, and there wasn't the internet the way it is now either. 93, there was no internet. So I had to go to the library, I had to go to books, right? So coming up with this system and then developing it further with the help of Mark Douglas, who was the author and creator of Trading in the Zone. It's been remarkable, right? So Elite Traders University, that's, I help people make trading success over 2 decades of hands-on insights. We have innovative system. The core system is the pip and run system. And we've had a financial impact of helping people succeed. Now, most traders, they take signals and alerts, and and they're using tools that they don't understand, right? And they've really just struggle, right? They just struggle with that, with the whole process. They chase the alert, they get confused, they're disoriented because you use one strategy, you see a signal on another one, and you mix them together. And you can't pour old wine to new wineskins, kind of thing, So you're misusing tools, right? You have guys using oscillators with just the crossover, when the predictive function is something that I discovered by reading other books of how guys like Gerard Appel, who's been in MACD, and stochastics with Dr. George Lane and Wells Wilder and RSI, they use indicators completely different, right? So people are misusing the tools because they don't read books anymore, right? People switch systems. They lack confidence and they have poor performance. They lack confidence because, they say, well, if you'll just win 3 trades out of 10 and use a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio, you'll come out ahead. But psychologically, can you lose 7 trades in a row and still believe to pull the trigger for the last 3? Right? Because you don't know when those losers are going to come up. And sometimes you might have 7 losers in a row. Do you have the confidence to be able to stand in the pocket while you're getting hammered? Right? Now, the way we trade is a lot less stressful because you're either hitting it or you're not, right? You're going to get immediate feedback. And when you're scalping, when you press the button, you're going to get a feedback of it going in the right direction for you, right? So that's so we eliminate that. That's the whole idea. We're going to get you out of that circle, right? So we've simplified the decision-making process. We're going to build an indicator, right, for guidance, right? And then they'll identify entry points to determine clear entry points and actions. And then we're going to identify exit points, right? And usually when we're scalping for 5 or 10 pips. So if we get 5 or 10, we're cutting it off, right? And we can use trailing stops and things like that, like we use in the final system, that can give us more pips, and But if you can repeatedly get 5 or 10 pips repeatedly, consistently, then it's just a matter of pulling the lever. How many times are going to pull the lever? How many times are going to press the button to get this consistent return, right? That's what we're looking to do. Okay. Now, when we achieve the consistent results and obtain reliable outcomes through the system, then we simplify the decision-making process. It's either we got two things, we're going to buy or we're going to sell, actually three things, or we're going to stand aside, right? Which is a lot better than, is this candle forming an inside doji at this support level with this MACD crossing over the CCI, over the 250 moving average, blah, 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 right? You gotta go from all this analysis to taking action, and your brain jams up, and then you make a mistake, right? Because you're caught in analysis paralysis. So we're gonna be building that indicator together. No, so and we're going to follow step-by-step instructions to give you a framework where you can make modifications or build something completely from scratch, or use what we have created and maybe say, Greg, I don't want to build anything. Just give me the indicator. Well, that's fine, right? But it's going to be either, $1,994 or $994, right? And you own it, you keep it. You get 12 months of upgrades. Like, as we are working on this, we're going to be adding things and doing things after the course, right? And all you will have to do is look at the Google Doc and look, oh, this is an updated version. Then just pop it in there, and you won't have to do anything. So if you're really super lazy, and maybe you are, and I'm not judging, because guess what? If I knew a smart guy like me that was doing this stuff, I'd let that person do it and I would pay them, right? And I could keep my hands off. But if you are one of those guys that I got an idea for a system, I know it'll work, right? But you don't know how to use the AI, well, that's what this is going to do as well, all right? So if you're super lazy and don't want to do crap, this is great for you, right? And if you want to get your hands dirty and build an ultimate trading machine, then that's for you too. There's something for everybody, right? And guess what? You can bring a spouse or a trading partner, okay? Or your kid, take your kid, get him off the, scrolling TikTok, and let's get him in here on Saturday. It's like, look, let's build some trading systems, okay? That'll be cool. Or maybe you got a neighbor that's a trader too, and maybe you can split the cost. You go, look, you come up with $900, I come with $900, we come together. If we do a cash thing, we do $450 a piece. Let's get together on this. Then we can build something, split the profit. Whatever. I'm just trying to make it accessible to you, right? But I'm never ever going to do this again. Just understand. One of my students goes, well, I don't see, why you even do this, because, if I were you, if you were selfish, you just take the system, trade, sit on the beach, and ignore everybody who's suffering. Yeah, that's not me. Remember, I come from 3 generations of teachers, okay? Going back to the 1800s, and I taught public school and went to Wall Street from public school, teaching gangbangers, teaching people, teaching the underserved and not just giving them a handout, government free cheese and government free grocery store, free housing. No, I was teaching them how to make money in our capitalistic system. And I'm a proud capitalist, okay? I don't care what you think about me. I'm not a socialist. I've seen the fall of the Soviet Union, and every system that went socialist has fallen apart. I'm a money-grubbing capitalist. But guess what? I don't keep all the capital for myself, because I support a lot of different charities and I help people, right? Because you can't help nobody if you're broke, right? So be against money all you want, but guess what? You can't help anybody if you're broke. So where was I? Sorry if I get a soapbox, Someone walked up with me and was anti-capitalist. I'm a proud socialist, anti-capitalist t-shirts. You paid for that shirt. You know that. You bought that in the capitalistic system, right? Anyway, in fact, this is a classroom I taught in South Central LA. I took an old shop class. They took all the machines out of it. I put computers in the back, but we did the stock market challenge back in 1996. Tara and Jose here. and they were looking at newspapers and they're trying to figure out what good stocks to buy so we can enter the contest, the stock market contest. All my kids back there are working on stock market, right? Well, that was 1996 in Watts, South Central LA, where I grew up. And then I was in Houston. I moved to Texas. I'm at the University of Houston for a move-in, helping one of my relatives move in. And I hear someone yell at me, "Mr. McLeod, Mr. McLeod." And I look around, I'm like going, no one will call me Mr. McLeod unless they were my student. Turned around, and there is Tara, and she is beautiful, and she is smart. That's the same girl, same hairstyle as 1996. And she's got 2 master's degrees. She has 2 kids going to college. She bought a house in Grand Prairie, Texas. And she said she kept that stock market stuff from when I taught her in middle school. She kept it. She had a rough life. She was in foster care, moving from place to place, but those little notes that's on her desk, she took with her, and she learned the stock market, and she remembered that. And so that type of stuff is why I don't sit on a beach and just trade. And I have done that, right? I've been in Maui for like 5 weeks trading with my good friends, the Bellas over there in Maui. Oh my God, right? But hey, I'm offering you guys this. So, and if you don't take it, that's fine. But don't ever complain that no one helped you, no one opened the door for you, no one did blah, 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 blah. Blame the system, be angry at America, be angry at Trump, be angry, angry, angry. Because there is opportunity all around you if you just open your eyes to see it. I was a kid born in South Central LA, raised there, and was able to get out of the ghetto and go to UCLA, graduate with a degree in English, then get a PhD in the Christian leadership and Christian business, and be able to start a world-renowned trading company, work for one of the world's largest Forex broker dealers in the world. So there's plenty of opportunity here in the United States, right? And so I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to have anyone along with me that believes in our system, right? No, it's not perfect, but it's the cleanest shirt in a dirty laundry basket, okay? So, again, we're going to be live building it step by step. And so you have the choice. You can watch me do it, watch the video, or you can actually take action and do things, right? And so you say, I've never coded anything in my life, but now I use my own indicator every day. That's one of our workshop attendees. And another one says, this gave me the confidence I didn't know I had, right? So we start with unrecognized potential. We look for that hidden strength within, because if you guys are smart, I know you are. I know that you've got the creator God that lives inside of you, and you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. We're going to have a transformative experience, revealing that reservoir of inner strength, newfound assurance, and renewed purpose to empower you, right? By giving you skills that you can use, because things are going AI and people are losing their jobs everywhere. Like I said, they're writing songs, they're creating the artwork, they're creating movies, they're creating all kinds of things, and it's going to accelerate. And so the last bastion of freedom for humans to take part in it and not be locked out of it is the trading world, right? And so, our training course contents, we're going to learn the language. Again, we don't need to know the language. What we need to do is how to speak clearly so AI can understand us, right? And then just basically taking the code that it produces and putting it into our templates, and then being able to put that into TradingView, which is a charting package. You got to make sure you get yourself a free version of TradingView, or if you upgrade the TradingView to a higher level, right? So you want to make sure you have in TradingView, you can go to tradingview.com, tradingview.com, and you can launch super charts right there, and then you can you can actually get our Pine, that's our Pine editor that we work with. Oh, okay. Well, we move this one over here, right? What is going on here? We want to look at a chart. Oh, you know why? Because it's 611 and the market's kind of wonky at 6, right? Oh, all right. All right. There we go. Well, okay. Yeah, you need well, you need charts. You need you need to go to TradingView and you can get a free account with TradingView, but there's also different products there, right? Super charts. And we're gonna be using the Pine script. All right, let me get back here. Back to our okay. So why does this matter? We're going to save hours of screen time. We're going to trade precision. Finally, you're going to trust your system. You're going to build trust again. Because I know you don't trust yourself. You don't trust trades. Sometimes we have setups and people don't even take the trade. Like, why don't you take it? Why I don't trust? Because you've lost money and it hurts, right? And you don't want to, that fear mechanism is there to protect you, to keep you from losing more money. But sometimes it will keep you from taking good trades because you say, well, what if I lose on this one, right? You haven't had enough success to actually even build any confidence or belief, right? So I advise that once you even build this system, don't trade with live money, right? Get used to it with on a demo and get some practice and get used to winning, right? Or if you see maybe it's not doing what you wanted to do, well, then we have a chat room where you can say, hey, well, what we get our groups together and then talk about, like, I'm trying to do this. What have you done? Well, we've done this, right? And so it's like a mastermind, having people from all over the world bringing their trading ideas and how they solve them. ChatGPT will create a script that works, and you might take that script and share it with someone and create another system or a better system, right? It doesn't have to be, like I said, if you just want to use what we use, that's fine. Or if you want to go off on your own and build, just as simply say, I just want something simple like 2 moving averages crossing and the direction of the higher time frame, 3, 4 higher time frames, line them up together. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to put a green arrow when it's going up and a red arrow that's going down. And maybe that's it, right? Maybe you have a style of trading. You just been unable to be consistent with it, right? And so that we can, like, streamline the process, trade precision. You'll learn to trust, and then you'll have the tools to build your own system or more systems, right? So where we go from here, right? Well, you visit the website. We give you the link to Pip and Run AI Trader Love Bowl right there. We'll give you that link. Register now, complete the registration form to secure your spot in the program. We're really going to limit this to maybe 10 people because, everything keeps its edge. And so we've got some people signed up already. I see some people signed up already, so we might close this down very shortly. So you want to build tools, you're engaged in creating personalized trading tools to enhance your strategy. Just like, in the old days when you had a forge and you hammered and you made the swords to go into battle, you're just not relying on someone else's sword. You're making your own sword, which is going to be pretty cool, right? So we're going to build these tools and then utilize our new tools to trade more efficiently and effectively. And again, the tools that we built, again, caveat is that they were built on the 15th. Okay. So no, there is not a ton of history behind them other than they're based on a system that has worked for 20 years. Okay. So the system, there is no problem. We've been battle tested. We've gone through the global financial crisis. We've gone through Brexit. We've gone through Grexit. We've gone through the Swiss National Bank depegging the and drop, we've gone through all those things and have survived. It's a very battle tested and robust system. In fact, I had a system analyst developer who developed the Sabre system, which is the airline ticketing system that most airlines use. And he looked at my system and he goes, I'm an architect. He's like the guy in the Matrix with the white hair. I'm an architect, not a programmer, not a developer, but an architect. And I designed this overarching system. And your Pip and Run system is the most sound trading system that I've ever seen. And it's perfect in the way it just functions. And again, I came from I didn't have a I mean, I was a nerd. I did have an Atari 800 computer and did some hacking, but my whole idea was this is what I want to happen. I want this entry here. This is where price is at the lowest, and it keeps going and just repeats the system, right? This follows the cycle of this 5-wave cycle, right? So when you have someone of that caliber telling you that your system is perfect, and there's not everyone online teaching Pip and Run. No one is teaching Pip and Run because everyone signs an NDA, which you will sign when you join this group, because I don't want this publicized anywhere else, right? This is for you to make money using it. It's not for you to start a money management group or other thing, or it's for you to enrich your family. Okay. And so you'll have the rights to be able to do that. But as far as sharing this, posting this, taking screenshots or posting on social media, you can post your Rolls Royce or your Mercedes Benz or your big house, right? Or your new boat or your jet plane. You can post that all you want, but the system, and remember, the integrity of the system means that it's kept, right? The reason why systems break down is because, remember, 90% of all traders lose, and 90% of traders are like going on the internet getting stuff from the internet, right? And if they're all using the same thing, well, then if the average trader loses and the average trader is using the same thing, then the same thing doesn't work. So having 10 people teaching ICT or ABC or BBB, and you think, oh yeah, all these people are using it, must be good. It's like, no. If everyone uses it, you're in the law of averages, and the average trader loses. Okay, so just remember that. Pip and Run, probably never even heard of Pip and Run, right? Not in such stuff for me and no one else. And they go, well, no one else is talking about it. It must not be good. And that's exactly where you're wrong, right? Because if no one knows about it, or very few people know about it, and it works, it will continue to work year after year after year after year after year. So count yourself fortunate. So I'm not really concerned. Your YouTube channel is 3,000 subscribers, and Bakey Trades, he's got like 60,000. Right? Yeah, 60,000. Yeah. And guess what? That makes it the part of the majority. And basically, they provide liquidity for us to get in and out, right? And for big institutions too. So anyway, I'll see you on Saturday, and I'm gonna put this back up here for you I'm gonna see if there's any questions in the chat box, meeting chat, if you have any questions. And I'm gonna invite you to, if you would like to be on the call, we're gonna at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is in another less than an hour. We're going to come back and we're actually going to use it live, right? And then you can actually see and say, well, I mean, you want I love the Costco model. Costco, you go there, you taste the meatball, and then you buy the whole bag, right? Or you taste the egg roll, and they got this giant bag of egg rolls, right? But they let you sample. So I like giving people samples. You just can't get full off the sample, right? You just don't get in your car and go around in circles, right? And and go around and grab another and another and another. If you got that cheap mentality where you're just going to live off freebies, that ain't going to work for you anyway, right? You have a scarcity mindset. But you say if it is good and if it works, then it's worth paying for, right? And if it sucks, it would make it worse if I made something that sucked, then took your money. And that's a crime on my part, right? But I stay up at night thinking, are my students making money? And looking at the statistics, well, Greg, why are you concerned? 90% of all traders lose. Well, mine don't, because I wouldn't sleep at night if they didn't. And they know it's either they're not following the rules, or their wife gets on their nerves, or their husband gets on their nerves, their kid gets on their nerves, or maybe something happens at work. But it's usually not the system. I'm like going, you know what the great thing about this? That it's you. You're the problem, which is great. You can change you. Would be a crime for you is that you put all your time, your energy, your devotion, everything to try to master this pip and run, this trading system, and it never worked because it sucked and you devoted all your time to it, right? That would be a crime. But if I've got students that make six figures and seven figures, and I make six figures and seven figures, and then you've got people around you getting prop challenges and passing left and right, then you can say, okay, it works. Then you just got to fix you, right? And fixing you is a lot better than trying to fix a system, right? If the system is wrong, it's like you need to get away and go somewhere else, right? But there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, they're not here. But they're going to be our liquidity, right? We take the other side of their trades. We look at sentiment and you see everyone is positioned on the wrong side of the trade, and you position yourself on the right side of the trade. Losers pay winners, guys. And since a majority of traders lose, the losers pay us. So you can make your choice. You can be liquidity, you can be the prey, you can be the bottom of the pyramid feeding the 10%, or you can be the 10%. You can be the predator. You can be in the other side of the screen. You can be the bank, the market maker. I'm inviting you to come to the other side. Take the red pill, come to the other side, and I'll see you on Saturday, guys. Yeah, my name is Dr. Greg McLeod from the Elite Traders University and the AI Forex Crypto Blueprint. I'm going to put the link in there in the chat, and make sure that you sign up and be ready. Again, we're going to have I know we have one session, and a lot of people coming in, they missed that first session. We have on recording. We're also going to throw in a free private session with you as well, right? Again, some of the results have been amazing that we've had. This is, again, the date here is 6/16, which means I did it before the AI, but it basically duplicates what I do, and we had similar results, right? So again, it's a weekend AI signal system. Plus, you're going to get the Bitcoin investment mastery, right? We're going to get the video modules. You're going to get the recordings of our sessions. You're going to get the meeting notes, and we're going to have a bonus Q&A session as well. Plus, any updates or anything, because we're going to be constantly improving this for 12 months. You're going to have access to the updated version, as well as the actual trading bot. Remember, we have the trading, the indicator shows us what's on the chart, and the bot does it for us, right? And right now we just did the indicator, and I showed you what the bot that I created, right? And I'm going to no, I'm like, you got to do it. I'm going to give that to you when you for those people who attend the meeting, right? Life changing. Again, it's back tested results for 1 year on the dollar yen. It does slightly less than other currency pairs, but if it does even half as well as the dollar yen and any of those other currency pairs, it could be life changing. $10,000 compounded for 5 years at 700% is $1 billion, right? I doubt that any brokerage, because I had one of my students turn 300,000 to 72 million. And I got, I have screenshots of everything, right? So, well, yeah, man, you can use Photoshop and made them. It's like, yeah, I could have, but these are actually screenshots, right? I'm not very skilled at that. So my student Marco. Marco actually is the author of the Dragon Slayer system. The Dragon Slayer system is in our $97 our paid elite traders room, right? So actually in the classroom, that's his course right there, the Dragon Slayer, 4 modules, and that's this guy here, right? So he was sharing me something, and I said, wait a minute, bro, is that 7,800,000? And he has a Serbian accent. He goes, no. I go, is that 780,000? No. Is it 7,800,000? No. Is it 78,030,511.69? What'd you start with, bro? He said, I started with 300,000. And I go, and how did you do that? Pip and run. I go, you pipped and ran. You really, 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 really pipped and ran, right? And it's live. Live. It's not demo. I said, is this demo? So no, it's live. It's like, bro. Anyway, I thought I'd share that to you, right? Like I said, I can program human beings to do crazy stuff. Now I got something that will, I tell you what to do. How about this? Like, oh, no, you didn't do that, right? I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it, right? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Ugh. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna go through the offer one more time. For those of you who are like going, really? Oh, I don't believe it. I'm a doubting Thomas. My first name is Thomas Gregory, right? So I mean, this is one where I took this trade, made $340,000 on it again. But yeah, but here, we're scrolling through, and I've been doing this for forever, right? And my students, and this guy, he took $800 to $10 million, right? That's Andre K. This is my Texas bank robber. He took his Social Security check and flipped it like 2 or 3 times, right? 97% wins, right? I know people will, and then this guy, Monty, just talked to him yesterday too. He called me. Yeah, I'm supposed to call you. I was going to invite you to this AI workshop, but he gave me $300 and he said, can you trade this for me? And I go, no. He goes, well, I won't tell that you're trading on school grounds. I'm like, are you blackmailing me because I'm a black male? It's like, no, but I said, so he gave me $300. And it was so stressful taking 300. I wasn't really good at that. Small accounts, growth, pressure. Not supposed to really trade for anybody anyway. And I turned the 300 to 12. I said, look, bro, I gave you 400%. I can't do this anymore. Take your money, and I'll teach you the system, and you go away. Well, he turned the $1,200 into $100,000. He didn't tell me. Okay, this is how I found out. This is how God puts his hand on things, right? So I used to trade with a brokerage called Refco FX. Refco FX was listed on New York Stock Exchange. It was Hillary Clinton traded cattle futures with them. They were found to do something illegal. They were smuggling money, and so they got sued. They got kicked off the New York Stock Exchange. I was trading with that company. That company went out of business. They froze my money, $20,000 of my trading capital. So here I am. I got a winning system, and I didn't blow up, but the brokerage did, right? And so guess what? I had to find a job. So where did I work? I got a job at the brokerage, right? Well, I got a job at the brokerage. And I go, and it was the brokerage that was affiliated. It was a white label of Refco. So I said, you know what? I'm going to sneak in here. I'm going to find my account and transfer my money out. I had a plan, right? I had my Mission Impossible plan. And so I'm pecking, and the judge had frozen everything, and alarms are going off. Greg, what are you doing? I'm trying to withdraw my money out of my account. It's like, you can't do that. The judge's got control of it. Don't worry. You'll make more money here than you'll have in your account. And that was true. But anyway, while going through some client data and some sales stuff, I see this name, Monty Bridges. Monty Bridges, how can he afford to open an account here? He had $100,000 in his account. And I call him up. I go, bro, yeah, man, what's going on? I'm here. I work for the company that you trade with. Really? Where'd you get $100,000 from? Oh, yeah, that $1,200 you gave me? Well, yeah, I was using the pip and run system, and I made $100,000 trading Euro Aussie. I'm like going, bro, that is so not fair. Revco had taken all my money. I needed help. I'm working here at this job. It was hilarious. It was comedy of errors. And then, years later, he came over and he gave me this testimony. So it's like, he was a substitute teacher. It was pretty wild. So it's a crazy story, right? Now, this is perfect for busy professionals. So if you work full-time and still want to grow your money, this is great to have a bot, a trading assistant, basically doing it for you, right? And if you wanted to explore AI but didn't know where to start because maybe all this stuff about open AI, ChatGPT, large language models, machine learning, all this is beyond you, I mean, you just got on the internet and now they've got a whole new game going on, right? And so this is a way for you to actually learn the basics of using a large language model for other things, not just trading, for lots of different things to make your life a lot easier. And so if you're tired of overtrading or system hopping and you want a system that fits your lifestyle, guys, well then, and you want to build a real skill, well then this is great. This is the next level up, right? Because eventually everyone's going to be doing this, right? We're on the head of the curve, but more and more people are going to be using, and guess what? We have a foundation. We have a 20-year back-tested, forward-tested, tested system that has making money, right? Remember what a computer is. A computer is only as good as its programming. Garbage in, garbage out, right? So there's a lot of people programming their system. If their system never really worked in the first place, ChatGPT will just regurgitate what they did, and and if they don't ask the right questions, ChatGPT is not going to give them the right answers, right? But if you actually, okay, in fact, let me show you something. I'm going to show you something real crazy here, right? ChatGPT, right? I'm going to go, what is your opinion of pip and run? Question mark. Based on everything is shared, clear outcome promise, well-structured curriculum. Skipped. And like it says, it stands out. Pip and Run stands out as a disciplined, streamlined, and results-focused approach to Forex trading. It's ideal for working professionals who are tired of complete complexity, burnout, or gambling behavior, and want a proven, simplified strategy that leverages smart tools, personal coaching. If you're positioning this, yeah. So, yeah, I really just based on the trades, what is your opinion? What, right? So, I mean, it takes a lot of balls for me to like ask ChatGPT, right? Consistent. It says, I've noticed, look, it speaks as itself. I've noticed tight stop placement, control sizing, and get in, get out mindset that avoids over trading. This suggests that not just technical skill, but emotional maturity in your approach. That's what gives it longevity. That's from ChatGPT. Clear directional bias. The system appears to be reliable. To reliably identify directional bias before entry, this is a major edge. Most losing traders are guessing or entering during chop. Pip Run seems to wait for a confirmation and builds from a position of strength. Stacking entries with confidence, the ability to add winning positions instead of panicking or exiting early, shows strong conviction in the system and a design that supports scalable setups. This is rare. Look, it is rare. ChatGPT tells you it's rare, right? And powerful when done correctly. Small time frame precision. Your use of short time frames combined with directional guidance, possibly from higher time frame or custom indicator, creates a scalper sniper feel. You're not randomly reacting, you're executing a plan, and it shows. This is AI telling me about my system, right? Fibonacci and Elliott wave integration. In the trades I've seen, look, this is what it's saying, right? In the trades I have seen, using these tools not as decoration, but for structure and measured projection that puts you in the small category of traders who use classical tools the way they were meant to be used, not overcomplicating, but leveraging them for timing and exits. Guys, I didn't write this. You saw me type this into ChatGPT. I'm amazed. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I just said, Holy Spirit says, let them see what the large language model says about what you do, the proprietary nature of what you do. Consistent risk control. I know it's tight stop placement. I read that already, right? Bottom line, the trades I have seen from Pip and Run aren't just profitable, they're disciplined, repeatable, and scalable. That's the holy grail for serious trade. I'm like going, bam, bam, bam. Really? ChatGPT, bro, you rock. You know, you're not relying on hope, hype, or one lucky setup. You've built a rules-based system that filters noise, locks in edge, and avoids unnecessary exposure. That's rare. Rare, guys. Not rare like steak rare. I'm talking about not very common, right? And valuable, right? How valuable? 1994 valuable or $19,900 valuable? But you know, I've offered this course for 12-month mentorship and mastermind for $20,000. But okay, so that, I mean, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I don't know. Oh, like you said, a couple of things. We have a success guarantee. I believe in no trader left behind. A success guarantee means that we will work for you until you are successful, right? When you have winning trades. Now, if you get repeatedly losing trades, you know, you put the thing in there and everything comes up a loss. Well, guess what? You call on me, we book a call, we straighten you out, you get some winning trades, right? But I don't want someone, oh, I got some winning trades, I want my money back. You know, I don't want, if you're gonna be a piker, keep your money and go away. Crawl under your rock and go away. But if you're serious and want to exchange value for value, right? I'm separating you from your money and you're separating me from my multi-million-dollar system, and you're going to get a lot more value. You're going to make a lot more money. If you don't make more than $9.94, you know, you gotta let me know, right? Because I will find you trades all day long that make more than that, right? So success guarantee, we have thousands of successful traders in our system, 12 months of updates, but due to the proprietary nature of the service, there'll be no refunds, okay? So if you borrow the money and blah, 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 I don't want to hear the excuse. Just keep your money and go somewhere else, right? You can, but again, to help people, you can enroll a spouse, a trading partner, a child for free, right? You get one login, you can share them, and but anyone over 18 has to sign an NDA, right? I can't make a kid sign an NDA, wouldn't hold up in court, right? And so some questions, there's a Q&A, a FAQ. What if I'm complete beginner to trading? This is perfect. The AI Forex and Crypto Blueprint is designed specifically for beginners. We start with absolute fundamentals of Forex trading, walk you through market basics, and gradually build advanced strategies with the Pip and Run method. You can actually go into if you're a member of our school community, our free school community has great videos to help you out, right? The paid view, this is advanced stuff here. Our advanced community, $97 a month, has the winner's circle taught by our hypnotherapist, certified hypnotherapist, Hal Wangshank, to go through the master mindset, the trader's mindset, and the abundance mindsets, and plus a bonus session. And he taught that. The Dragon Slayer, the $78 million guy, trading strategy, the Forex Foundation strategy, freshman that comes in the four modules. We have the freshman, we have the sophomore, that has the different indicators, economic news, support and resistance, strategies, so it's this whole series is like 81 videos in the Forex Foundation. So it's 81 videos here, another 5 here, another 5, close to 100 videos for $97 plus live trading with me. 3 days a week, 12 days a month, right? So we've got all that. You have that access just for $97 a month. If you want the link to that, I can get you that link as well, right? And if you want to join that too, and if you do join, if you were to join, in fact, what we can do is this. I'm going to do a special on-the-fly offer. If you join the AI Crypto Blueprint, okay, I will throw in the membership to the Elite Traders University for 1 year. Okay, that's 1 year, and $97 a month times 12. That's an extra $1,000 bonus right there. All right. So now we also have the free group, though. If you're brand new to trading, sign up for our free group, and then our classroom we have our Forex baby pips. 16 videos are really short. They're like a minute. Each is a minute or less long, teaching you about the market. So in about an hour, you can learn the basics of the Forex market just by going through Forex baby pips, right? Or baby Forex pips. And then you get the freshman course that's part of that, that's free. And you'll get one of my top students, a Russian lady who's a very awesome trader. She created the Samurai Advanced Trading Strategy Opening Range Breakout. And so after you've got the basics, after you've got some knowledge on risk management in the Forex freshman course, we have risk management, understanding margin and leverage, trading crosses, types of trading style. So you got these foundational basics, and you've got the baby pips thing going on with all the terminology and the jargon. So if you're like, all this jargon, I don't understand it, well, we got you covered, right? Now you're ready for the samurai sword. You're ready to wield the sword for trading, and it's really cool. We haven't made that into an indicator yet, but hey, we can take any strategy and make it into an indicator. But guess what? You get that for free just by joining the free school community. Elite Traders University is the name of the community, and you can join that for free. I'll put that in the chat box as well. And I'm streaming. I forgot about my YouTube people. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry, right? But where are the links, Greg? Say, don't worry, I got you. Thanks for sticking with me. I gotta find you guys, like going, Greg, where are our links? I love good hot links, with mustard on a French roll. I'm hungry. You know why? Because it's time for me to eat. And let me get back in here and give you those links. Okay, there's a chat. Should be a chat on the side. Tariq! Oh my God! Striker! Tariq Khan! Oh my goodness! You're on. Oh. Oh, stop. I have one of my old buddies here. Hold on. Striker. Back in the brokerage days, he was one of the great analysts. Striker. Yes, I can see your message. And let me give him my email address. I was just talking about him, bro. Um, uh, that is going to be Greg. I'm sorry, he's like one of my oldest trading friends from the brokerage. Great elite traders u.com. Can I? Okay, no way. Okay, okay. Oh, come. Greg at Elite Traders. Tariq Khan, a buddy from Pakistan. Leach. Oh, okay. Striker. Okay, Striker. Okay. Anyway, going back to the school group. So that's great for if you're a beginning trader. How much time do you need to dedicate to this? Maybe 2 hours per day. You know, the more time you put into it, with anything else. So you put more time in it, the better it is for you. Do I need to know how to build or decode or build an AI system? Absolutely not. All right. AI signal system training is designed for completely non-technical people. We walk you through every step using simple visual instructions. No coding is required. And just follow along, and you'll have your own AI powered alert system running. If you can use a smartphone, you can set this up, right? But you're going to need a computer. What's your success guarantee? We will work with students until they have successful trades. And then again, due to the proprietary nature of the service, there'll be no refunds. However, we are committed to your success. We'll provide ongoing support to ensure you achieve profitable results. And how quickly I see results? I mean, you can see results within the same, we trade on a Saturday, you're not going to see anything until like Sunday, Monday, right? So immediately, right? And what trade platform does this work for? Right now, we're working with strategies on MT4, MT5, and TradingView with the Pine script. Okay, and with the Bitcoin crypto trading, we are not really trading. We're really investing. We're buying and holding crypto. Why? Because it goes up on the average 40% per year. Getting out of something that moves 40% per year is probably not smart, but taking profits from our trading and buying crypto. Now, it's very important because a lot of things are going on where the dollar's been getting super weak. I know there's talk of being switching to a digital currency, a currency that monitors wherever you go. And so having your money invested in Bitcoin is a way to safeguard against that, or gold or silver, right? But being in something other than the US dollar, because the dollar, if you look at a dollar chart, if you look at a DXY chart for the past um, 30 years, you can see that we are in a downtrend. It's losing value. And so what happens if it goes to zero? Well, then guess what? So I have property, I have real estate. Yeah, sure you do. But it's priced in dollars. And if the dollar is, you can go to Vietnam and get a house on the beach. And guess what? How come it's not as much the house on the beach? Because it's in the US, because why? The currency is worth less. And so if the dollar goes down, property values go down too, because they're priced in dollars. If you look at this chart, you can see that the US dollar is on a decline, right? Right. But if you compare it to what Bitcoin, BTC, right? Then we have an upward climb, right? So we have Bitcoin, right, at 120,000, while the dollar is worth less than the dollar, right? So So it's very important for us to be hedged, right? And because this is suitable for people with a full-time job, absolutely great for people with busy schedules, right? So if you would like to be part of this, I put the link again in the chat box, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I hope that that you learned something, and if you want to see results in your trading, and we'll really look forward to seeing you Saturday. Again, my name is Dr. Greg McLeod. Peace and pips. Talk to you later. Thanks so much.